Rise and shine, it's time for D. It's pajama. I'm your host, Shannon D. And today I am joined by a very talented photographer and actor. You can find him as Poppy's new boyfriend on Apple TV's Mythic Quest alongside Rob McElhenney. And we both share a credit on the hilarious breakout show Hacks on HBO Max.
That's right.
Please welcome Chase Yee.
Everybody, thank you so much for having me. And thank you. I loved that intro. That was...
Oh. Well, that's all you. That's all you.
No, the song.
Oh.
D is for drama.
That's drama with a D. Well, today we are in Redondo Beach.
Yes, we are.
Because Chase is doing promo for a
very wonderful luxury apartment complex here in Redondo Beach called Eddie Redondo. My good friend Alex, who's shooting a little BTS for us also. Him and I have been working at the property, just promoting the complex to everybody. It's now leasing. Great 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom penthouse suites.
This is really an ad for Eddie's apartments,
exactly.
actually.
Shannon's been kind enough to let us do a podcast episode here, so it's been
Well,
really...
I would say you were kind enough to let me do a podcast
we've been helping each
here.
other, so it's been a wonderful experience.
And then I did a little poolside modeling.
Ooh, we'll throw in a couple of those
clips.
pictures.
Yeah,
on
YouTube.
Subliminally dropping them.
This was actually just a chance for me to show off my bikini bod
It was
to the
listeners. She had a great outfit. Seriously, it's like you find the right people, the job is simple. So that was a huge help. Thank you.
Stop. But yes, they're very beautiful. So we're just in their kind of rec center, I would say.
There's a little rec room here. It's a lot of great amenities.
Eating room, pool table, lots of fun.
Podcast setup.
So if you're watching on YouTube or Instagram and TikTok, that's why we're somewhere new.
Yes, thank you. You can. I think it's at Eddie Redondo Residencies.
There you go.
Username.
Check them out.
Thank you. Every little bit helps.
Well, tell us a little bit about your new role.
Oh,
Very
man.
exciting. Mythic Quest.
It's so funny because you say Mythic Quest and everyone's like, oh, Mystic Chest? I've heard of that
Mystic
show
Chest.
before. And I just, at some point you go, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that was it.
Yep.
Like, I think I saw you on that. And I go, oh, yes, I appreciate it. You know, it's funny. A lot of people too will tell me, they're like, dude, I saw you on this Bud Light commercial last night. It was awesome. And I'm just thinking that can't, I didn't book a commercial, so that can't be me. They go, no, it was you. And then they show it to me, and it's clearly some other Asian guy.
Oh, my
It's not. It's just not. The guy's like maybe a little out of shape, you know, like a foot shorter than me.
Doesn't look like you
Doesn't
at all.
look like me at all. And they're like, dude, I swear, great job. You got the part.
I feel like that happens with people of color all the time.
I just have to accept it. I just go, oh my God, thank you, yes. And then I think everyone assumes like, dude, you must be doing well.
Yeah, well, let them think it.
I do, and you just
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
You're like you could turn on Apple TV. I am on that.
Yeah, that show I was on. So and you know what? It was a great experience. I mean, I think out of all the shows I've ever worked on, just that whole experience was flawless. I mean, I really had no bad day or bad, moment with lines or feeling nervous or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It just really was one of those situations where a part was just made for you. And I had that feeling the entire time I was on set.
Yeah, you did amazing.
Thank you very much.
I
Thank you.
watched it.
Oh my God, I'm
Storm.
honored. Storm, yeah.
Storm. He's like a kind of spiritual, I would say.
Yeah, he is more. You're right. Definitely more spiritual than I am in the sense of like, the universe has this planned out for me.
Yeah.
You know, I believe in a little bit of that, but also there's so much heartbreak with acting that I think I've had to really have the discipline to abandon a lot of that too. You know, you audition for things and you feel like, oh my God,
I did so good.
That was like, or the character's going through
me.
something that is exactly what you're going through. And so it's like, I'm meant for this.
Yes.
And then you get a call back and you're like, God, like I'm gonna book this job, and then that you never hear from them again.
Nada.
Nothing. So it's
but that's
like,
how you thought about this one. Like,
not
this
no, you know this
no?
this when I auditioned for it, it was under like a code name. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what network it was for.
Yes, I've auditioned for this show too, and it's always under a code name.
I never
I've done
knew.
it like twice.
So when my agent called me and told me I booked it, I picked up the phone and I just said, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What show?
What show?"
She was like, You booked it, honey. You got it. It's yours. Congratulations. I was for like 2 weeks after that. I still did not know what the show was. Because I was looking up the code name. That and my agent, God bless her, I love her to death. But so many things are happening all the time at
Yeah.
work. She's busy. She doesn't necessarily give me all the details right then and there. So I'm waiting, just like, and then I do the fitting, and it's at CBS Radford, which is out in Studio City. So I'm thinking, okay, it must be a legit show,
one.
whatever.
Did you know it was on Apple TV?
No, I had no idea.
Really?
So I literally knew nothing. I
That's
show up at
crazy.
CBS for the fitting. Finally, I asked the wardrobe lady. I said, "What show is this? Can you tell me?" And she said, "Oh, you're not aware?" And I go, "No, I'm serious. I don't know a fucking thing about this." She says, "Oh, it's called Mystic Chest." I'm kidding. No, it's called Mythic Quest. And she was talking about and well, she actually said Charlotte's name first. Charlotte Nickdow, who played Poppy, my girlfriend. And so that was someone I'm also like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
And then she said Rob's name, and I mean, I know him from It's Always Sunny, but I did not know anything about this show.
Oh my God. So you couldn't even prep to go and watch the show or anything? That's weird.
And when I got the sides to read for, they didn't give me any. There was hardly any character breakdown. It just said Storm, artist type. That's all it said.
Yeah.
And
I think when I auditioned for a couple years ago, it was called Zeus. I feel like they always give it
I think that's actually the name it was under.
It was
Zeus.
under, yeah.
Yes.
And I somehow figured it out though. I think maybe just through context because I had seen it.
Right. Oh, okay. It was totally unbeknownst to me. I mean, I didn't
Was Rob McElhenney's name even on it?
No,
or no?
not from when I
wonder why they keep it such a secret. There are certain projects that are like that. It's kind of like, well, the show's out already.
Right.
What does it matter? I guess it's just to keep the sides.
I think
under
for me
wraps.
as an actor, it helped in the sense. I really do believe, and this is just like my philosophy with acting. You book the jobs that you completely forget about. After you read an audition, even if it's the most perfect thing in the world for you, as soon as you send that tape in, you just forget about it. And you can't, not even you can't ever, every time I've had a job that I really liked, and the next day I'm like, God, I hope they call me.
Yes.
I don't book that
never
job.
Get those.
Never.
Or it's the ones that you don't want.
Yeah.
Like
it's an inconvenience if I book, I got to go somewhere for 3 weeks. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know.
Or one where it's like, at least for women, like they have to do nudity. And I'm like, fuck, like, please don't get that one. Please get. And of course I would get that.
Honey, they
one.
loved you.
Yeah.
They loved you. They want you back.
I'm like, well, of course they do.
It's a weird acting strange like that. But for this job, I really went into it blind, and it was a wonderful experience.
Did you know it was going to be a full season arc?
No, initially I think the contract was only for 3 episodes, and the writing for Storm was very small at first. He just had I think the first episode I'm in, I'm introducing an art show for a sculpture piece that I made, and that was really it. So as the season progressed, they just really liked that dynamic with Storm being there, so he just kept getting added to a couple other episodes, especially I think episode 4, which was us in this murder mansion.
Yes, that was a cool
and that was
episode.
A great period piece.
It was kind of like a game of Clue or something, like murder
it was
mystery.
and to be included, I mean, it was the largest role I've booked as an actor. I've done a ton of co-stars and small, bit parts and stuff, but to actually have a character that you could sink into and you're a part of the storyline for a season, to be a major contributing factor to a lot of the drama.
Exactly.
I always say, you're an actor is like a plane, you're like an airplane, but you never really get to take off down the runway. You're just sort of waiting all the time, and for this show really felt like I could just take off and fly around a little bit.
That's so
exciting. Was a really good feeling.
And I'm sure a lot more opportunities will come from it too.
You'd think. I mean, unfortunately, the show was canceled. Yeah, it just got canceled.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know, it sucks. And that again, that's another side of all this. It's like you want to think, oh my God, I booked a recurring role, season 5 maybe gets picked up.
Yeah,
canceled.
And damn it.
And so you live with that possibility all the time, and it kind of makes things not that exciting. But it is good to have the work.
Yeah.
The work itself lives on. I mean, you could go on Apple right now and watch it, and it's there, and hopefully that turns into something. But so far for me, no, not really.
You just never know.
You never know.
I mean, it's great to have on your resume.
It is.
And good experience.
Rather than going to like back to square one, you're maybe at like square 3.
Yeah, you're making progress.
You know, and it's just a long game.
Well, you did a great job.
Thank you so much.
It.
I appreciate it.
Max, my boyfriend, watches the show, so
cool.
I've caught it a handful of times.
Oh, nice.
So the show is basically about video game.
Yeah, startup video game company, and they kind of have their. I think it's a show about inner office relationships.
Yeah,
you know,
a
really.
workplace comedy.
Yeah, workplace
at the
comedy.
End of the day.
Right. But gaming certainly does come up. I mean, it's a huge part of the lifestyle. And me personally, I don't really play video games at all.
Yeah, me neither.
You know, so like being in that culture. There was one game I played when I was in high school, like maybe 13 or 14. It was called EverQuest, which was like
similar,
a lot like Mythic Quest.
You mean EverChest?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it was called EverChest. And it was my parents would walk into the basement to see me playing and think, "What are you doing?" But this was a role-playing game. It was like a medieval mythology game, and you'd go on you'd find treasure chests and kill monsters and stuff. And I did play that.
So kind of similar, right?
Yeah, you'd go on raids. It was very much that, and I used to love playing it as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Online role-playing games were becoming a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
So just like you're playing with someone in Tokyo. I mean, it was kind of cool to just be in that world. But that's really the only experience I have with
video games.
Video games, yeah.
Yeah, I used to play it a little bit when I was younger, like Donkey Kong.
Oh, old, yeah.
And
I love
like
stuff
old
that.
PlayStation games.
Right.
We had Game Boys too.
Pokemon. Man.
Kirby.
Oh, Kirby was a good one. Have you ever played like online games, like on the computer though?
Like Sims back in the day.
Oh, Sims was a fun one. Isn't Sims interesting? Like, 'cause it's like you're just living another character's life,
another world.
But it's fun
It's escapism at its finest.
But I always thought like it's kind of funny. Like, why don't I just focus on my own life?
Yeah.
Instead of staying, but you're right. It is like
it's easier.
It is easier. That's
just a few clicks.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's right. Oh, I need a boyfriend.
You don't even have to put your underwear on.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, today we are going to be talking about gaming, all types.
Yeah.
Stories have to do with video games, game nights.
Ooh, now does that include like board games?
Yes.
Okay.
So all types.
I like that.
What's your relationship with board games?
Oh my gosh.
Or charades or things like that.
I love word games. I'm huge with that. Wordle, Boggle.
Words with Friends.
Scrabble. I'm not too competitive.
Yes.
Really?
Me neither.
I like to just kind of have fun.
Same.
I kind of grew up with people who were just like,
too into
it. They would lose their mind, you
yep.
know, or accuse me of cheating or something. I'm like 8 years old. What do you want me to do? you know, so it's like God. I never really, I don't get into it that way, but it is kind of fun to see other people lose their shit though.
It really is. Games. Well, we actually have a perfect story.
Oh, good. Yes. Okay.
That has to do with that. We had a listener write in. And then we can talk more about it because
I can't wait to hear this.
Their brother-in-law is annoying the hell out of them. My 29F boyfriend, 31M, and his family love playing games. Whenever we go to his house, we always end the night with a game night.
Oh.
His one brother, 27M in particular, is no fun to play games with at all. He takes the rules very seriously, and if anyone makes an honest mistake because they don't understand the rules, he'll immediately call them a cheater.
Oh, come on. That's not cool.
He's a sore loser and a sore winner.
You know what's funny? Like, it's almost like curse words aren't good enough. You gotta just say that he's a sore loser, and it really does stab you even more than like harder. any other word would. Damn.
We get into little bicker fights every now and then, but it's not too bad. This brother really triggers my boyfriend, though, and makes him even more competitive during these game nights.
Wow.
It kind of brings out a nasty side of him and, quite frankly, gives me the ick. My boyfriend's a great sportsman when he's playing games other times, but when his brother is there, it seems like he stoops to his level. Sometimes he's even a little rude to me when this happens.
No. This is like an episode of Maury from Jerry Springer. I love it.
Jerry.
Who's the dad? Who is the baby's father?
That's the twist in the story.
Exactly. I've been sleeping with both of them and I don't know what to do.
She goes, I think games are supposed to be fun.
Mhm.
These games are kind of unavoidable because his family plays them at every gathering, and it would be weird if I stopped going. But it's getting to the point where it's just not fun anymore. I've tried talking to my boyfriend about it, but I think his brother just triggers him so much that he has a hard time controlling his emotions. How do I handle this?
Oh man, that's a tough one, man. Because I guess it would probably be my reaction to just not play,
Yeah,
especially if it's not fun anymore, and you're just. I would even tell whoever breaks. Okay, who's ready for Monopoly? I'd go, no,
maybe
Susan,
not.
not tonight.
The only thing though is that it's like her boyfriend's
I
family,
know it's so
so she
hard.
doesn't really have much of a say to be able to like control the environment because it's not it's if it was her family, it'd be like, okay, guys, my boyfriend really can't handle playing games,
That
so
or
let's
like
not
a
do
little
it.
meeting before. Okay, we know that whatever the guy's name is, Gregory acts up
Yeah,
like crazy. So let's all just
not
not
play.
play or
But it's
just let
like,
him win. Who cares? I
I
don't
know,
know.
maybe it is just I get
I'm
but
not a
that's like
big
it's not her, it's like her in-laws
Man,
basically.
that's hard.
And she's already tried talking to
Yeah,
him.
that's a tough one. The other thing too is that this is something that I try to keep in mind with a lot of people in general who are just like they have that they have issues. So
Mhm.
we already know. I'm sure that girl and her boyfriend, they know that this guy is gonna act that way.
Yes.
So it's almost like, okay, I know how he's gonna behave. So what do I need to
I
do
need
just
to
to
control.
anticipate that behavior?
Mhm.
That's really it. So,
Yeah.
and I know it's like, okay, we're kind of placating to this guy and his whatever on the whim of how he's going to behave. But
Mhm.
it's also just, I always feel like if you know how someone's going to act, it's kind of easy to control them a little bit
Right.
because I know you're going to say some shit, whatever.
Yes.
All
You're on
right.
the defense kind of
And you
thing
can
where
almost laugh about it a little bit. It almost
yeah.
becomes comical because it's a show or a story. I already know what's going to happen.
Well, it kind of does seem like she has already figured that out because
Right.
she's like, we get into little bicker fights every now and then, but
But it
it's
sounds
not
like
that
she
big of a
handles it,
deal.
but it triggers her
But it's
boyfriend.
like, yeah, because, he's grown up with him his whole life. He probably hates that he's always like either getting his way or making it about him when they're just trying to have fun. Because
Right.
obviously this family likes playing games.
Right.
So it seems like she's sort of figured that out, but he hasn't been able to just like,
Yeah,
yeah, like kind of laugh about it. Like,
yeah, I think that's what you got to do. Can't let it get under your skin.
as you were saying, like it's kind of funny to like watch people like
Let
lose
them
their shit with
implode.
such a low stakes scenario.
I know. It's almost, and I can see maybe from a brother's perspective, it's almost like as soon as her boyfriend lets it get under his skin,
Mm-hmm.
he's lost already.
Yep.
And it could almost be a little, maybe even a little emasculating at times
For
too.
the
Yeah,
boyfriend.
because your brother is making a big deal, calling people cheaters, and you're
Mm.
getting pissed. So you start to get mad, but really that only makes you look
Oh, like yeah.
you're stooping to
Pathetic.
his level. So
Yeah.
it's like, what now I got two idiots to deal with?
Yes.
You
And I think
know?
that's why it's giving her the ick.
Yes,
Because it's
yes,
like, ew,
exactly.
like
So
now you're getting competitive, which I don't find attractive
that's right.
in people, which I agree.
I
I don't
agree.
find that attractive when people are playing
Yeah.
such low stakes. I
But
get it if you're on a sports team and you're
sure.
invested in winning and
Sure.
you guys have been practicing for so long. Like
Right.
I definitely when I was on volleyball or whatever back in the day and we didn't win, yeah, it was disappointing.
Right, right.
I personally actually do get the ick also when guys get really like pouty when their teams don't win.
Oh.
I understand disappointment, but when they're
Right.
literally like, "Don't talk to me,"
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
what the hell, dude? You don't
"Ooh."
it's not, I don't like that either.
Yeah, what are your
I
do
don't
you
know.
have investment like that?
No. I don't it's like don't really care about sports that much. I mean, I like playing. I used to play a lot of baseball growing up.
Yeah.
I love playing sport. I love playing basketball and those things, but I just don't. First of all, I don't think it's worth getting upset over at all, and
Mhm.
and it's not worth getting hurt. Like
Yes.
if you play too intensely and you sprain your ankle,
Mhm.
people like us, we can't work.
Yeah.
For however long that takes to get back on your feet. So to me,
Totally.
it's just not worth the.
Not worth it.
I can exercise and get energy or my
Endorphins.
endorphins from something else that is
More controlled.
exactly. So with sports and people's behaviors, and you're right, people kind of lose their shit sometimes over like, I'll see people yelling at the TV at a basketball, make it,
Yeah.
shoot it. Sitting there
And I
going,
think there's like
just
a
like
healthy
relax.
amount of that because I
Yeah.
get being invested in something, but when they're affecting other people after the game,
No.
where they're like legitimately like, I can't talk right now. Like, don't talk to me. I'm upset. Or like,
No.
I don't want to. I remember this at the college that I went to. The whole time I was there, our football team sucked. They were so bad. And I remember I went to Arizona State specifically because I was like, I want to finally, for the first time in my life, like go to a school that's big, that has a sports team where their
kicks
team,
ass.
which like I didn't even know if they did or not, but at least like, you know, where it's like sportsmanship and it's fun.
Yeah.
And
It was probably
we'd go to
intense.
the games, and then afterwards, like all the guys would be like, nah, I don't want to go out because they lost. And I'd be like, are you kidding me? I wasn't even paying attention. I don't even know if we won or not. I want to go and have
I'm
fun.
gonna be honest with you too. That is strange to me because if I was a guy in college and like a group of young women want to go out after the game, and I'm gonna be like, no, I'm gonna go home.
Exactly.
The whole point you go to the game is to hang out with the girls afterwards. So I never, I
Exactly.
don't understand the. Yeah, I don't get that.
One of my friends has like a really hot boyfriend that I always was like, oh my gosh, like he is just like so funny, so cute, so hot. He's like the whole package. And then I saw him do that, and I was like, actually, never mind.
No, it can make someone unattractive so quick.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be my advice in that situation. Is just like, you're right. You almost have to see it as that is their huge flaw that is so telling. Once you see through it, you know, just to not engage, or you can engage, but it takes a little bit more circumvention of emotional intelligence rather than going right to anger. Maybe they don't follow the rule exactly, and so gets upset. Before he gets upset, you could say, oh, that's not right, because you're going to piss off so-and-so if you do that.
Call it ahead of time.
Yeah, and kind of laugh about it.
Yeah.
And look at them, and you laugh, and you engage with them a little. And then suddenly they don't feel so hostile because they're looking at you going,
oh, she's my ally.
oh, she's kind of on my side. She doesn't want someone to get away with it either.
Yeah.
But you're not like ganging up. You're actually being really emotionally smart by balancing maneuvering, because you know how that person's going to behave.
Okay.
So to me,
getting ahead of it.
It's genius. And
like maybe just hopping on board with them.
Yeah. Or just being able to play the room a little bit,
Yeah.
like, and I just think.
But then won't people start not liking her?
Maybe, but
maybe she could do it in a cutesy way.
But if it helps you sort of navigate the energy, I just think really smart people are able to do that. They can anticipate and react and temper all kinds of things just with emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
What
I usually do is I'll end up just, because I have someone in my life that's like this, and who is like this, where he's always just like, hey, wait a minute. And I'm always like, oh, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is very emotionally mature of me.
I love
Don't you think?
Yeah, that's right. I'd be laughing. If I was in the room, I'd giggle.
So, but I guess her issue is like, what's she going to do about her boyfriend?
Yeah, her
but you think by doing that, then it would sort of control the situation.
I think so. Yeah, I think it would even, or just have to also tell your boy. A lot of people don't really have emotional intelligence. That's hard to. We're reactionary.
Yeah.
I'm pissed, so I'm gonna act pissed. But being able to have humor in all those situations instead.
Outdo the doer.
That's right. Outthink them. Really.
Outthink them. Now, I'm wondering what she did try talking to him about. Like, did she just... Because I'm sure that they have had many conversations about how the brother's annoying.
Babe, you were really ugly at dinner tonight.
Why?
Like that. Yeah.
What did I do?
Because you don't stoop to his level.
There you go.
Don't.
Yeah, maybe she just
be a bigger man.
Be a bigger man. And you're being kind of rude to me sometimes when you're doing it.
That's right. And plus, you lost. You suck at that game.
Yeah, you're terrible. You weren't going to win anyway. Actually, demean him.
That's right.
Tell him that he's giving you the ick and he's disgusting.
And you weren't going to win. You weren't even close. Yeah. And you did cheat. I saw you.
Yeah. Well, because that's the thing too about, like, has this ever happened to you with previous partners or whatever? Any of the partners in your life where when you see them around their family, it is kind of like, oh, you're kind of becoming who you were when you were a little kid, and they kind of become a little bit unattractive to you.
It's hard separating yourself from your family. And I think that's hard in general. I grew up in Michigan. I left home when I was 18, moved out. Moved right to Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So by myself, didn't come out with a sibling or a friend or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're instantly kind of gaining independence
Yeah.
right away. You're
Right.
almost taking it from everybody. Whereas I think a lot of people today don't necessarily do that as much. They'll live at home, stay at home for a little while, try to slowly transition away.
Yes.
And with that, I think everyone's lives sort of get comfortable
Mm-hmm.
in a position so that suddenly when you want to go beyond that position, it doesn't just disrupt your life,
Yeah.
it's disrupting everyone else's life too. So that and that forces other people to start to look at how's my life going to be when you're not a part of it, or when you're doing something different than what I'm expecting you to do, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's hard to navigate. I mean, it's so, because we obviously want our own lives.
Yeah. You become different people when you go out on your own.
You do.
And then when you come back to your family, a lot of times you do kind of revert back to who you used to be.
Right.
And it is hard to
Or you fall
bring
into
your
those
partner back into the fray.
Right.
Because you're like, well, we already have this like weird dynamic that we always have done.
Right.
So the boyfriend is probably just used to always, this is how you play games with this type of person.
I think me is like, dating a woman who's my folks are in Michigan. I don't really see them much except for when I travel back to go there. So if I'm dating somebody here whose family lives here,
yeah,
obviously the dynamic is I'm going to spend more time with their family.
Yes.
So it's different for me also because I'm trying to engage with other people's parents and learn about them or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're right. Yet my partner and them have their own. So I'm just like a witness to all of it. I'm just sort of a bystander. I don't really, although at the same time, it kind of is a nice thing too to be able to be like, you know what? That's your problem.
Yeah, not my monkeys, not my circus. I know. I think maybe this girl just needs to like sit back, laugh at it, find humor in it. And if the boyfriend's giving you a nick, whatever, that happens.
I think so.
But I do think it's he's starting to be rude to her.
That's not cool. That's the thing that's not cool.
Yeah.
You can't blame, because someone else because how you're behaving.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take some responsibility for that and figure out why your brother triggers you so much, for one thing.
Yeah, where he can't even control his emotions.
Yeah, right.
So maybe if the thing is that you've tried talking to him about the brother, maybe now come from, I feel like you're not treating me well in these scenarios. And let's just the stakes are so low, who cares? Yeah. Let him have his temper tantrum. We know this is how he is.
That's right. I agree.
Boom. You grew up with people that were like that, you said, right?
Gosh, yes.
Like siblings or something?
Well, I had a stepfather who was just so competitive.
So a full-grown adult.
Oh, yeah. So I'm 15, arguing with a guy who's in his 30s about, Call of Duty or something. And I mean, God bless him. I mean, he's, I think at the time he's trying his best to navigate
being
a step parent, kids who are teenagers. Mm-hmm. I know that's also hard, I can imagine. But for me, it really just squelched my appetite for competition in many ways because I saw just how ugly it really would get for no reason.
Yeah.
Like holiday, like couldn't have Thanksgiving dinner because, we're fighting about some video game or something stupid. And it's like, it's just not about that at all.
And board games are so fun. It really is like a nice time
any
to
game.
bond
It's supposed to be fun.
Stuff.
I think it's supposed to be a way to relieve stress. So if you're playing a game and it's creating issues, everyone should just stop playing that game.
Which sucks for everyone else. You ruin it for everyone.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why I think you got to overthink people because one person can ruin it for everybody. One person's ego will just ruin it for everyone.
Yeah. And I don't know how they can't see that either.
And they don't.
And how are they not embarrassed after?
They don't see it. They think they're being righteous or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude,
I think friendly competition is fun.
Friend is cool.
Yeah.
Like, with friends. Obviously, there's some friends I have, we can shit on each other and laugh. And like, I lose, they lose. It's equal. It's fun. And it's empowering in the fact that, because we care about each other.
Exactly.
But some people aren't able to really distinguish that.
No.
No.
They're all about the end goal. All right, let's get into our next story. Yeah. Am I the asshole for proposing to my girlfriend with a video game relic instead of a ring and refusing to buy a ring after?
No, babe, I gave you that action figure. That thing's like really, expensive.
It's a collector's
I'm
item,
not buying you
babe.
a ring. Are you
That's
crazy?
more valuable than an engagement ring.
Babe, wear that. That's what's going on.
My girlfriend and I met in a Skyrim meme page in 2014. No idea.
Skyrim.
And we've been together 6 years. Last week was our anniversary, and I decided I wanted to propose. Since we met via Skyrim, I thought I would propose with the amulet of Mara, which is the symbol that someone is ready for marriage. She doesn't really wear jewelry or anything and has never shown me a ring she likes when we've talked about marriage, so I thought it would be sweet to have something that brought us together. I set up this whole picnic with our favorite things, and when I proposed, she looked sad and asked about a ring. I told her I thought the amulet of Mara was sweet because we met via Skyrim. The other day, she sat me down and she said she thought the amulet was very sweet and she liked it, but she wanted to go ring shopping. I told her I had already bought the necklace and I didn't see any reason for a ring since I didn't propose with one. She said she appreciated the sweet gesture, but she really wanted a traditional ring. We got in an argument and it's been tense since.
Damn.
Am I the asshole?
Oh, man. I mean,
First things
man.
first, do you want to see the necklace?
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
Let's
come
get
on.
some eyes on this.
I'm sure it's pretty nice.
First of all, it's a honker.
Oh.
That's not a dainty. That's not a dainty necklace.
No, that's like a Mayan.
It's a medallion.
Like relic from that
Yes.
you find in a tomb or something.
Yeah. You guys, it's like this gold. There's like 7 circles. There's a big one like dangling in the center.
It's like something
almost
on the
like
aliens.
Yeah, with a huge like gem in the middle. So this is not a necklace that you could wear on a regular basis.
Babe, why aren't you wearing
Why aren't you wearing
Where is it? No, I have it on. It's under
It's
You
under
can't
all
even
my
hide that
clothes.
shit.
She's going to work out. He's like, how are people going to know you're taken?
You just see the big imprint in her chest.
Under her sports bra.
Is that a pacemaker? Oh my gosh. Well, that's really, that is sweet though. I mean, I can see the
sweet.
thoughtfulness there.
Totally.
I have this joke with my girlfriend that I'll watch, like, there'll be a video on Instagram of guys like doing a lightsaber ceremony where they're knighting like another Star Wars member to their fake club.
Yes.
And I'll send it to Elodie and I'll say, babe, everything about me is the same, but this is what I'm doing with my free time. Like, would you still? Everything about me is exactly the same. Our life, everything. I just love going to this meetup, and I'm getting knighted tonight, and I hope you show up.
What do you think about that?
What do you think?
That's like a would you still love me if I was a worm?
She's like, what time should I be there, babe?
She's a ride or die.
She's ride or die. So I bet. So it
Now,
is.
do you think she'd be okay with this though?
Oh God, if I got her the Skyrim amulet of Mara.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and then I refused to get her a ring after I think, you can't just bestow these things onto people either and expect them to be okay with that.
Right.
It's nice that she sounds like she appreciates
Yes,
it.
she came to him very maturely.
Yeah. Sat you down, and that was nice. But I do think now you got to look at it from what they want.
Exactly.
I do think that's true.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just projecting all your
what you want
shit onto someone, and they're not really getting their independence. Look, you're talking to someone I've been engaged twice in my life, and neither engagement
twice
has worked out. Twice. You could even argue 3 times.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I proposed to my high school girlfriend.
You did?
Yeah, at Niagara Falls.
No way.
And
wait, how did that happen?
I don't know. This was a girl I dated on and off for a long time. It's all throughout high school. I grew up in Michigan, so obviously you want to get engaged quickly out there. It's just a Midwest thing. It just happens. And we drove up to Niagara Falls. I had a ring that I bought. It was really nice. She may even still have it because I never got it back.
Yeah.
But it was a nice vintage, like, diamond ring that I bought at like this estate sale.
So it was like actually diamond.
Yeah, it was
gold.
really sweet. We woke up in the morning in Niagara Falls. I proposed to her. She was so, yes, she said yes, and I just thought, oh my God, this is awesome. And then I put the ring on her finger, and she looked at it, and then she just went, "Oh, I can't do this."
No way.
Just started crying.
Immediately.
The 6-hour drive home was not comfortable. Let's just put it that way.
Oh
it
my
was
God.
just silence, just
Did you guys break up
Oh yeah, we
then?
split up. Yeah.
Damn. Wait, how old were you?
I
Like,
was, God, 18 or 19. Yeah.
wow.
Didn't work out. Another girl I was engaged to a couple years later, another girl from my high school. God,
Wow.
I
In
need to
Michigan?
yeah, I need to get out of Michigan.
Yeah, you needed to.
This girl I actually really liked. We had a really kind of quick romance. My mother was ill. My mom passed from cancer
Oh,
in 2014. So I
sorry.
think part of me felt like I really was
Yeah.
trying to speed up parts of my
Yes.
life. And
Have a family fill that void kind of
and at
thing.
this point, my mother was really sick. So
Mhm.
I just thought, well, I gotta, and this girl had met my mom before, so I
Mhm.
just thought, well, I really liked her. Fuck it, I'll ask her to marry me.
Yeah.
I was really just emotionally messed up, and she said, yeah, we were gonna get married, and then she was a singer on a cruise ship, so she took a job
Oh, really?
to go sing on a cruise, like
Yeah,
right after we got
cool.
engaged. Yeah, it was very cool.
And then she
Well,
never came
she went
back.
out on the cruise ship, and our relationship just imploded. I mean,
Mm.
after that, and
What, when she came back, or what, you just couldn't
well,
handle her being
there was
gone?
it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
There was some infidelity stuff, and
Oh, on a cruise ship? Well,
oh God,
oh, yeah.
Oh, that
I had a
happens.
friend that worked on a cruise ship, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of that going on.
I know, and I even went on a cruise with one of the legs of her cruise. I even
yeah.
went to go, and it was just a nightmare. I just was not a.
Did you meet one of the guys
Oh
that
yeah,
she hooked
oh
up
yeah,
with?
it was terrible. It was
Wait,
just-
how did you find it out?
Well, I didn't know at the time, but the night
later.
one of the nights we went down to the bar to drink, you could tell that she was just enamored with this guy and was like, "I want you to meet my boyfriend Chase," and I'm on the cruise, and the guy's kind of just very short with me. But was also being he was very short, but also being very
Yes.
gracious.
Oh.
Hey, what's up, man? Cool. Yeah, you look. Oh, good. You want a beer? Of course, here. And then he'd just
You
kind of
could
go
just
back to
tell.
talking to my fiance,
Mhm.
and she wasn't really showing affection to me
In front of
them. It was, oh, let's go back to the room. Let's. Or I'd try to
Yeah.
give her a kiss or something. She'd kind of like move
Swerve.
or kiss me on the cheek or something. And
Yeah.
it was just, she wasn't wearing her ring that I gave to her.
Wait, what? What was her reasoning?
I don't
for
know.
that?
It's because she's singing on the cruise ship and she
Didn't
does,
wanna
doesn't get as much
lose it.
attention if, has the ring. Just
Oh.
weird shit
But
like
it's not
that.
like they
that-
work for tips.
I don't know.
Or maybe the more attention you get, then
Maybe
like,
I think flirting.
better
I get it.
with
Flirting with other passengers or whatever.
the
you
higher
just-
ups or something.
Yeah,
if you're
and
popular.
I think mainly it's just for the crew. I mean, from what I understood, a lot of these performers and people that work on cruise ships, the camaraderie is all just among the ship. I mean, these
True.
are the people you're traveling with for however many months on end, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you form really strong bonds. I mean, I get it,
Yes.
whatever. But it just did not work out. And then it was
Wow.
funny because then my mom passed.
Uh-huh.
She died, and her funeral was like right in the middle of this girl's leg of her
Oh.
ship.
Oh,
So she called me and she was like, "I'm gonna come back for your mom's funeral."
Oh.
And I said, "Oh, that's sweet." I said, "Okay. Well, you know what? You come back. I forgive you. We'll work things out. We'll pick up where we left off."
Yeah.
And then she went, "Oh no, I'm not gonna stay. I have to fly back to the cruise ship the next day."
Uh-huh.
And I said, "Wait a second. So you're just gonna fly from Greece
Yeah. Oh.
to Michigan for this
Mhm.
funeral, and then leave the next day?"
Yeah.
She said, "Yeah, I have to finish the contract." And I said, "You know what? You can just stay your ass in the middle of the fucking ocean." I hung up on her.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I haven't. No, I mean we've rekindled since. I mean she's
Yeah.
she's a very sweet girl.
But then when did you find out about
Oh, later. Well, she
how?
got pregnant. She had a baby
with
with
someone
another
on the cruise ship?
person from
The cruise ship?
the cruise, or someone she met, I think, during
Or
an
the
excursion
cruise.
on that cruise. So she
Mm.
has and he's a really sweet kid, and our lives are just so different now.
Yeah.
You see how far apart you can really, really grow. But she's great. All love and praise to her now.
Yeah.
We have a good, friendship now. So
But to play devil's advocate is what you would have preferred is that she like fully quit her job.
I suppose, yes, in my younger mind, I thought, well, what's
You should be here for me.
Yeah, and I know she wanted to be a musician,
Mm-hmm.
and part of that was like just doing the club scene in LA, just be
Right.
here in LA and make music. And I didn't necessarily see why you had to be on a cruise
back
ship to
to
be
the
a singer.
cruise.
But I think a lot of that is just about the experience. You just get
Yeah.
to travel, and you're seeing new parts of the world. You're meeting exciting people. You're making a little bit of money. All your shit's paid for. You got a place to live.
Yeah, it's a fun, like...
So I get it. And you're 22 years old.
Exactly.
Why wouldn't you?
Sounds fun.
So I wasn't smart enough back then or wise enough to see that, everyone's entitled to their own life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what I envisioned them for my life. So I could see this amulet situation being the same thing.
Oh, yes.
You think it's a great idea. I think it's awesome. I want, here's my token of love for you, and that should be good enough.
Yeah.
But it might not fit it doesn't necessarily fit their vision for their experience and they're entitled to that.
And that's why I think couples should have that conversation about expectations around engagements.
Yeah.
And I do think that men should be more observant of what their woman likes, what kind of jewelry she likes. I remember this was like a thing going around the internet a few years ago where it was just like a woman being like, my boyfriend bought me a silver necklace when like all I wear is gold. And so like the women were kind of like, yeah, she's in front of you every single day. And I get it. Some people are not observant, but it's like when it was going around the internet, like a lot of women were like, oh my God, same, like blah, 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 blah. And it's always disappointing because it's not about the jewelry. It's about the meaning behind it that you're not observant of me.
No, I get that.
And then all these men were like, you should just be grateful he got you anything. No. And it's like, well, that's not the point.
No.
It's not the point. It's that you don't even know me well enough to know that I don't even wear that.
No, that's true. I mean, then you're really getting into deeper questions of like, what else do you not really know about me?
Exactly. Are you observant at all about me?
That's scary. There's a great saying by Albert Camus, who's a really great writer I like. He's got this saying, and my mom had it on a little plaque in our bathroom when I was growing up, and I have it at my place now. But it says, don't walk in front of me. I may not follow. Don't walk behind me. I may not lead. Just walk beside me, be my friend. Yeah. And I always thought that's so simple, but a really beautiful quote, because it is just like that. You really got to have a friendship with someone first to know them, to understand them, to observe them.
Yes.
And learn. And only from that do you really form a deep connection of love to where all the other shit doesn't really matter.
Right.
I know you so well that I'm inherently gonna do the thing that you're gonna love,
right?
Because we know each other,
and
it
not
comes
just like
from
filling a role in your life.
Exactly.
It's like you know them as a human.
And I think that's what was my issue when I was younger. I was always just trying to check boxes because I felt so pressured
and like out of control of your life.
Exactly.
Probably.
Exactly.
Well, the other thing too is that I think that he was very sweet in the way he did go about this. It was very thoughtful.
No question about that.
It was for like her in a way, because it was like, oh my God, I would have loved this. But I think what he needed to do was get a ring as well.
Yeah. It just didn't necessarily line up completely
with an engagement
to what she envisioned,
right?
Which and hey, women are entitled to a ring. I mean, they really are.
Yeah, they want to wear it on their finger, like that is a symbol that you're engaged. Absolutely. Because otherwise, in the world that we live in, that does show you're engaged. Not that it matters to show that off or whatever, but that's the symbol of engagement. And if you're going to be engaged, you know how many questions she's going to get from people in the outside world?
Yeah, exactly. And
where's your ring? Wait, but you're engaged.
I'm wearing it.
Yeah, it's here. It's on my chest. It's the size of my breast.
I don't know what it is. This thing is stone and leather. It's sweet. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that's really touching. But
I think he does go into asshole territory though is he wasn't the asshole by doing what he did. Once she expressed it to him,
saying that you don't deserve or whatever.
Okay, let's go get you a ring.
Right.
Maybe it's money can be an issue for people, and so he maybe did spend. But a lot of people were like, "Well, I just looked at a bunch of these like online, and there's definitely they're all under like $100. They did find one that was like $900, so maybe he did that one. But I feel like he would have mentioned that. Now, some other listeners did say that someone designed a ring specifically of the amulet, but into a ring.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Now that's thoughtful.
That's two birds with one stone.
Exactly.
I mean, really, pun intended.
She would have loved that.
She definitely would have loved that. I think women they want something to wear.
And it's something you can wear every day. You truly can't wear that
I
necklace
think
every day.
they also want something that's new and that's theirs.
Oh, have you had the issue where you've done a hand-me-down?
Well, yeah, my mom, she left me a ring.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most spectacular ring at all, but I used that to propose with at one point, and it was just
one of the three.
and one of the three. Again, my partner at the time was excited, was honored. I mean, I knew that, but I know that for her, it just wasn't something I think that she necessarily wanted in her mind. And not only that, but the weight of the responsibility of that, also just the style. Yes, it wasn't really, and I admit it was not the most attractive ring, but for me, I thought it's so sentimental to me that this isn't good enough. And I remember we got in a little bit of an argument.
Yeah, I can see that.
And now, of course, I have such clarity now. I totally feel like she's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I see both sides.
Put the ring back in the fucking drawer. My mom gave that to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She didn't give it necessarily to me to then give to some other girl.
Okay.
That was a nice gift from her before she passed for me to remember her by.
Right.
So I don't have to really dump that off onto someone else.
True.
Get them something new that can be theirs.
Yes.
I
have also heard people who will take a diamond from an older ring.
Oh, that's cool.
So and then you redesign it into something that fits you. So it's like the diamond still has the sentimentality, but then you turn it into something that's more your style.
That's a sweet idea.
Because I think we could do a whole episode on this, honestly, but there's a lot of conversation around, I think people will oftentimes be like, oh, well, they're just being picky or they're not being grateful and like that. But it's you have to realize if this is an engagement, this is a marriage that's going to last you for the rest of your life. Yes, you can always upgrade to another ring, but this is a ring that you're supposed to be wearing every day of your life.
Right.
You're going to look at it every single day. So you need to want to love it.
Yeah, of course. I do. And I think you want it to be yours,
Yeah.
I actually really like I have a lot of little tattoos, but I always thought instead of a ring, I was just going to get a little tattoo instead. Yeah. Because that to me is, hey, that's on you
honestly,
forever.
Rings are uncomfortable to wear all the time.
And sometimes they don't look good with everything you're wearing all the time.
Agreed.
Agreed,
because sometimes you want to wear silver jewelry or sometimes you just going to the gym.
I had a buddy of mine who got married, and his ring was one of those smart rings.
Oh, like a aura ring or something?
Yeah, like that was his. And he was like, yeah, well, it's my wedding ring. My wife got me that. I went, oh, that's kind of cool.
Actually, that kind of works.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. He goes, yeah, it keeps me alive.
Yeah, there you go. Just listen to her.
Yeah, you got to. That was a nice, and she'll wear it maybe, on special occasions or, hey, she said yes.
Yeah.
That got her to say yes. Now get her the thing she wants.
Yes.
I think that's nice.
Exactly. We do have a little update.
Oh. Oh.
Well, the engagement ended.
Oh,
no,
man. From the same thing?
No, it's a good update.
I was going to say, damn.
No, he goes, well, we got married. I realized pretty quickly after posting my original post that I was an asshole and my feelings were hurt because I'm an idiot.
Good.
So we picked out a ring together and then we decided, hey, let's just elope. We both picked out a ring and now we're married. So
dude,
thanks for everyone for knocking some sense into me.
Yes, think of all the money you just saved on the wedding too.
Yeah.
Nice quick elopement.
There you go.
I do think that's the way to go.
To spend money on the ring.
I never understand why people I get it, it's your wedding, but some people I've heard, we spent $60,000 on our wedding.
Oh, and that's nothing.
I know, and
that's
I'm just thinking,
nothing.
But to me, it's even some of my friends who don't have money. It's even their little things that they wanted to do. It cost us $20,000 to do that, and I'm thinking, man, just go to the courthouse, pay $20, take $20,000, and go to Hawaii for 6 months and do nothing.
And that's the problem though, is when you're putting so much pressure on that day to have a good time, that all of that pressure would make me not have a good time.
I know.
No matter what.
Yes. It's board game night all over again.
Literally. Dealing with everyone else's emotions.
Yeah, I know.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I got to do a wedding episode soon.
That would be good. That would be funny.
All right, let's wrap it up on another game night.
Ooh.
AITA for blowing up on a friend for his eating behaviors at game night. I, 25F, have a group of friends that I regularly play games with on the weekends. One of those friends is Zach, 24M. It has happened on multiple occasions that Zach eats more than his fair share of what is there. We typically organize a potluck once a week where everyone brings different parts of a meal. If we do a game night on a weekday, the host might organize a snack. One day, my husband and I brought several different kinds of dip and some chips as a side to a meal that he and his wife had prepared. We were meeting at his house this time, and quickly the 7-layer dip became a popular favorite amongst the guests. Fortunately, we brought plenty, so when the game night was over, we still had about 70% left of a full container of the dip. We were excited to bring it home, and I'm pretty sure my husband made it obvious that it was his favorite dip amongst the selection. As soon as the game was over, I started packing up. I put the lids on all of the dips, sealed up the chip bags, and returned everything to the grocery bags we had brought them in. The 7-layer dip was on the bottom of the bag. I went to the sink to wash the spoons we had used for the dips. Everyone was chit-chatting. We were cleaning up. But when I finished washing, I turned around to see Zach digging through my bags and pulling out the 7-layer dip.
Come on.
I watched as he opened the bag of chips and started going to town on the dip, leaving about 30% of the container.
Damn.
I didn't want to say anything right then because someone else was talking, and also I was just so bewildered at his actions. I perceived it to be a complex lack of respect, especially since everyone knew how delicious the dip was, and he had already had plenty throughout the night. I stared at him trying to think of what to say, and he just laughed and said, I had to get more of that dip before you guys could leave.
He's like a villain.
I didn't say anything at the game night because I don't want to cause a scene, but I was livid. I complained to my husband about it in the car. My husband suggested that we message him about it tomorrow morning. The next day, I didn't feel like it was necessary to say anything right then. And I knew I would eventually bring it up, but I was trying to think about the best way to do it. But later that day, we got a group message from Zach saying, so are you guys bringing that dip on Saturday again? I knew it was meant to be a joke, but all the frustration from the day plus all of the other times he had been rude boiled over. I responded by saying, quote, maybe when you can learn to control your appetite and eat your fair share, we can bring something for everyone to enjoy.
Wow.
Okay, I'd love to know your thoughts because I have a pretty strong opinion on this one.
Really?
But I want to hear yours.
I just think it's hilarious. You know what I like? It's like you're just trying to have an innocent fucking game night, and these are just another component of the night you got to think about is the food.
So
like
much
you
drama
gotta
around
think
these
about the
games.
fucking food. Who's gonna eat what? And it's like,
Yep.
it's just another life. Life just gets bogged down with a lot of bullshit, doesn't it?
Yep.
I mean, it's so funny. And anyway,
Whose side are you on?
well,
though?
I mean, dude, to eat 40% of a dip by yourself, I mean, that seems a little crazy. And the fact that it was already packed away and you rummage through the bag to get to it again.
Yeah.
And then just start going to town on the dip.
Yeah.
That just seems like a social awareness
Faux
issue.
pas.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I guess to play devil's advocate for this guy, I do think that if you bring food to a public thing, just forget about it. The food's there.
Thank you.
It's done.
It's not your food.
Don't pack it back up.
Don't pack it back up.
You made it for the party. Honestly, I wouldn't even want it. I don't want. Everyone's touched it. I'm not taking it home.
No, it's been sitting out all day.
I would want my dish back.
Yeah,
that I left it in.
Totally.
Spoon, Zach. Dude, eat it. Let me spoon it into a dog bowl for you. You can go to town.
Lap it up.
You know, lap it up.
Exactly. Or if you need this, scoop some of it out, or make your side plate at home. Leave it at home. Right. When you make food for a place, that is, you do not need to be like looking at it all night to see, oh, do I have more of it left?
No.
Save what you want to save. Leave it at home.
Yeah.
The food and the drinks that you bring to a party are no longer yours. They're the party's food.
Absolutely.
I honestly do still think it was okay that he went through the grocery bags because I think that's their food. That's the entire party's food.
That's right. That's
I truly, that would be something that I did because I just like am such a, I mean, I probably don't have good social awareness around like food shit, but I'm just like, whatever, that's my food. I'm eating it. I'm still hungry.
That's right.
If it's a game night, I'm smoking a little weed. I'm eating all the food there.
Whatever's, I mean, it's open a season on all that shit. You can't, compartmentalize what was for the party and then what's yours.
And you're looking like 70%, 40%.
Yeah, that's too much. No.
Like your eyes are too much on this thing.
Yeah. Why'd you even bring something then?
Exactly. And my husband made it very clear that it was his favorite. Oh, so everyone should have been like looking around, like
Save
making
some
sure.
for-
They're gonna want that. It's game night. People are probably drinking. They're having fun. They're having a good time. Like her eyes,
Where's that dip?
literally,
Bring that shit back out.
literally.
You're right.
And I think it is a faux pas to be like bringing your stuff home after you brought. I mean, I think every party like operates differently. It is like, like the host, like, oh my God, please take it home. I don't want it.
Right.
But I think for the most part, a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm going to scoop a little of that for myself. Like sometimes people even bring Tupperware themselves to the party to bring or whatever. But it's like, oh no, well, actually, you guys didn't drink this bottle of wine, so I'm going to take this home with me.
That's weird. And you know what's funny is that, but here's the thing. So yeah, there's this woman who's, okay, they ate all my dip. I'm upset because now my dip's gone. I wanted to save some. Then there's somebody else at that party, though, who's, why didn't anybody touch those dumplings that I made?
I know.
No one ate them. What the fuck?
I know.
Fuck
those people. Be happy that people like the food
what
you
about
brought?
the person who brought something who nobody touched?
Liked.
And she had to take that shit home, and
she was forced to.
And now someone's going to send her a text, hey, maybe don't bring those dumplings next time.
Yeah, check your privilege, babe.
No, that's right. Be grateful they liked your dip and that it was a hit.
Exactly.
Because God forbid, I mean, it's a tough world out there. So you just can't please anybody, man.
I know. But clearly this woman is triggered because this is not his first offense. So we do have some of his previous offenses.
Okay.
Okay,
let's get
strap in, folks.
Yeah, let's see why she's so upset.
One package of party-sized Oreos was bought for 6 people to share, and he ate an entire row on his own.
Oh, a row? Oh, that's not a big deal.
What is that? Because there's 4
rows. There's 4 rows.
Yeah, out of 6.
So what he ate 7 Oreos?
She's obsessed with this.
Yeah, let's see the next one.
2. One time, a broccoli and cheddar soup was made as the meal, and it was less than usual, so we all figured we would get a smaller portion. He and his wife went first and scooped large bowls for themselves, leaving the last 2 people without any soup at all. And they had to just eat the bread bowl they were supplied.
Oh, man.
That's bad.
Okay, that's not cool.
I was very what the fuck about that one, because how could they not have had the foresight to not take as much, or at least offer to share what they had once they saw that the other 2 people didn't have anything left?
They don't have the awareness. And you
Which
know what,
is
though?
crazy.
It is crazy.
I do.
It's sad, but also I feel like you gotta make a shitload, whatever you're gonna bring.
These people are just bad etiquette when it comes to parties.
Lot, man. And why are they? And no offense to them. I mean, I like broccoli cheddar soup, but is that what was the first thing? A bean dip,
Oreos,
a broccoli cheddar soup.
Oh, so now you're now you're
these are not things that publicly I would really want to be like spooning myself into it from a.
Yeah.
You ever go to like a potluck and you look at all the food after?
Yeah.
Like I hate that when you go to a party and it's maybe you're a little late and there's like, oh, hey, food's in the house, go check it out. And you go back and the food is just like
coagulated.
Oh, people's hands have been all over the meat spread and I'm just like, I'm not eating.
I'm good.
So if I looked at the pitiful pot of broccoli cheddar, I would just, oh, no thanks.
Yeah, the bread bowl thing is like not cool, because I don't know how, maybe they just dug in already when the other 2 people come back with just their bread bowls, but
sad.
Yeah, you got to make more food.
You do. That's true.
All right, number 3, which is astutely labeled the Adobe steak incident. We had invited him to our house for a game night. It had already been discussed that we wouldn't be providing any snacks because it had been a long day and I hadn't even had time to prepare our own dinner. They could all either bring their own or eat before they got there. I made some Adobe steak for my husband and I and cut it up on a plate to share between us. Zach and his wife had brought their own meal and had already finished it by this point.
Jesus.
But he made a few comments about how delicious the steak looked and smelled. He kept asking what was in it, so eventually I offered him to try it. He grabbed a piece for himself and also a piece for his wife, then retroactively asked if it was okay for him to have some. I agreed since he had already taken it and it was just one piece. A few minutes later, my husband and I had finished the plate, so I got back up to get some more. And when I sat back down, I got immersed in the game. So when I was playing my turn and not really paying attention, I saw him sneaking a few more pieces for himself out of the corner of my eye. I decided not to say anything and just move the plate closer to my husband so it would be out of reach.
Oh my God.
Yeah, now that I like have the backstory a little bit to like how this is kind of like a fourth time offense.
I see. He's just a gluttonous person.
Yeah, which, I have been known to take my fair share of some food at some parties before, but you have to make sure everybody gets enough food
you do.
before you do it. I'm always very conscious of not going up and getting seconds
Right.
until everyone's had them.
Oh, there've been plenty of dinner parties I've been to where I really was hungry and I wanted a second plate. I mean, I would have tore it up, but like you really have to just, no, I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Because obviously
just wait.
But you're right. You got to make enough.
Yeah.
That is a huge pet peeve of mine.
Exactly. Same. And I grew up in a household, my mom's side of the family, where it would legitimately be like, okay, everyone gets 3 shrimp tonight.
What?
Count your shrimp. Everyone gets 3 shrimp.
No.
You could only have 3 shrimp.
I don't even want shrimp.
Yeah.
Take it.
Now I don't even want it.
I don't even want it.
Actually, forget it.
But I can see how for her though, everyone's responsible for what they brought that night.
Mm-hmm.
He's going, that steak smells pretty good.
He's starving.
We finished ours already, but what's in that? I'd like to know. Like, dude, back the fuck off my plate.
Truly, that's not cool. That's
not cool either.
That's not the party's food. She said, we're not providing snacks.
Right.
I do think it is a little bit, but she did say she had like a long, hard day. Like sometimes there are certain circumstances where like you're going to eat in front of other people.
Right.
But it is like, I think a lot of people do say it's like a little bit of a faux pas to be like eating your meal in front of other people, but they brought theirs too.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. That's tough. That sounds like it's a little perfect storm of just crap between the two parties. I mean, he's his way with food and she's a bean counter with her stuff, so that's kind of tough to, how do you really mesh that
together?
Well, I guess you got to make enough and then honestly forget about it.
Yeah.
The food is,
that's the party's food.
That's it.
I do think that there's just like kind of
there's an etiquette.
Communication also not happening here either, where it's sort of like.
Well, you know what's about these kinds of people though? So like obviously we get upset about these things, right? And then it's like, well, you should tell them, confront them.
I know.
And it's like, no, I don't want to do that because if you do, you know what the other person will say?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
God, I'm sorry. I didn't know I had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I didn't. So
an act dumb, or you think they just genuinely didn't know?
It might be a mix. I kind of think people do know, and that's just their way of coping.
MO.
Yeah. So and it doesn't make us feel good because you know what? I shouldn't even have fucking brought it up.
Yeah.
And that's why I think
I
go back
you
to
become the villain, kind of.
That's right.
Can you believe what a big deal they're making?
Exactly. That's why I think you go back to the emotional intelligence thing where it's like, okay, I know this fucking dude is gonna eat and want a bite of mine. I just know it. It's like a dog.
So I'm not going to eat anymore in front of him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure if I want a 7-layer dip, I keep some at home.
Some at home. And next time, whatever I make and bring to the party, that's theirs.
And he can lick it clean so I can take my Tupperware home with me at the end of the night. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people like in the comment section are saying the same thing. So hopefully she read that and was like, oh yeah, cool. You're right.
That's cool.
Well, somebody did say, even with the added context of his behavior, the proper thing to do would be to address the problem then and there and not let it build up over time. And she replied back saying, oh boy, I can't deny this. To be honest, I'm so used to just keeping everything to myself and bottling it up, especially against guys for some reason. Huh. Usually I try to sleep on something because I'll end up waking up the next day feeling like I was overreacting and just not having enough negative energy to deal with it anymore. But his comment in the group chat set me off. I'm starting to see just how rude it was based on the comments calling me an asshole. He's a friend from high school, so I think I got too comfortable with him and wasn't careful enough about how I handled the situation. I get that too. Yeah. Like with my friends that I've been friends with for a while, I am a little bit more like.
I think that's cool that you're, if you're an old high school buddy, you should be able to just
talk to him,
call them out too a little bit, and be like, "What the hell's your problem, dude? You quit eating my dip. It's my husband's."
I think it being on a public platform, not a public platform, like a public group chat,
right.
does make it a little bit more.
That's an interesting all around game night. Yeah, can't we just? We're just trying to play Monopoly, everybody.
And now there's drama about the food.
And Oh my God.
I feel like I would be a little bit embarrassed if I was her, but if they're all high school buddies, then it's kind of like,
Yeah, then I
whatever.
would call them out big time. I mean, if I knew that, I could see if it was like a neighbor I just met. Like, you know,
Yes.
we've only known each other a few months.
Yeah.
But if these are people 10 plus years of whatever,
I also
let them
see a
have it.
way where it's like you could do it in more of a joking way.
Yeah, big time.
Like throughout, like even, I mean, if he's your high school buddy, I know everyone has different relationships, but I would be like, okay, enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, we wanted to take some of that home.
That's
Thank
my
you.
steak. Don't look at my food.
Yeah.
Or my plate.
But I know everyone's different and
Yeah,
not
they
everyone's going to be able to like call people out like that. But maybe in the
Takes
future,
a special
if he
person to
doesn't
be able to
stop.
do that.
Exactly.
Right.
Maybe in the future, that's if you're listening. I'm sure you're not because this was from years ago, but that would be my advice. So the main issue here is that he's not asking though.
Yeah,
It's a
that's good.
communication thing, I would say.
Right.
And he is eating a lot in one sitting.
Yeah.
Can't be good for you.
No, and if he could just say one nice, like, yeah, that dip last night was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Could you make more of that? I really loved it.
Yeah.
See, and that's nice. Then you give someone a compliment. They did a great job. She might even feel more compelled. Okay, I'll make it again. They really liked it.
Instead of just assuming that you can go in there. So, because obviously she does have boundaries and you need to respect them. And I think he knew that he crossed them because he texted that joke the
Which
next
is
day.
his way of apologizing.
Yeah, I think so too. And
tell.
opening up the conversation.
Right.
So I would say maybe everyone sucks. Everyone's the asshole, okay?
I like it. Shannon was like, no, I would do that.
No, I would do that.
I would definitely do that.
I would definitely
I
do
would
that.
dig back into the
I
bag.
can't say people would like that I did that, but I would do it. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Chase. This has been so fun.
Seriously, thank you. It's been great talking to everybody, and I just, keep tuning in. She's a super talented friend of mine, and honored to be here. Really, thank you.
And watch him on Mythic Quest.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy it. Season 4. Yep.
And a bunch of the episodes. And follow him at _Chase.
Yeah, Chase Yee _. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for listening. And remember, you can't spell drama without D.
D is for drama.
That's drama with a D.